Hello and welcome to another sim broadcast. Tonight we are at South City Long in the XRGT for Rony's Tuesday Fun Race 2021 Round 11. I'm Peter Butcher, and joining me in the commentary box once again, it's Eoin Harmon. Hi Eoin.
Good evening, Pete, and welcome along everybody.
Welcome to another excellent round of Rony's Tuesday Fun Race in Live for Speed. And we're at South City, Eoin, and if anyone's been paying attention to the LFS news lately, you'll know that this track is about to go through quite a facelift. The Live Speed developers announced on, I think it was a couple of days ago now, that the South City environment in Live for Speed is going to have a pretty huge update coming, even bigger than any of us expected. The May 2021 progress report, South City Part 3, is available on the LFS website in their news section if you want to check out all the brilliant screenshots and a nice 3-minute video there of all the changes that are coming to the South City environment in LFS. And as you can tell by these screenshots, it looks absolutely amazing, and we can't wait to see races here in some sunnier skies, and also some of the custom configuration options that massive environment is going to give us. So yeah, awesome stuff from the developers, treating us but yeah, hopefully we can get that update sooner rather than later and bring that to you on our channel. Anyway, back to today's action, Eoin. We are at, as I mentioned, South City Long, and we are at round number 11 of the championship at of 12. So the next combination is going to be the 256th RTFR, the BF1 at KY3R. And yeah, that's going to be a bit of a change from the XRG at SO4, wouldn't you say?
Yeah, it will be a big enough difference, all right. High speeds at Kyoto compared to today at South City.
So today at South City, indeed, let's have a look at the current configuration of the track, which we believe will remain largely unchanged as we head into the update. The additions will be the extra roads around the circuit, and also some interior roads too, as part of the update. But here we are. An hour of qualification is well underway. We'll bring you pictures of that in just a few moments' time. And then we have to enjoy a 16-lap race at 6 UTC. Today's car, we have the XRG, the XRGT in Live for Speed, a 1.8 litre inline-4 front-engine rear-wheel drive car weighing in at just over a tonne. So a bit of a handful, and it's great, isn't it, Owen, around the tight, twisty corners of South City.
Yeah, and those railway lines, they could possibly kick out even more oversteer with the wheel-wheel drive. And so you'll be seeing plenty of drivers pushing as hard as they can now with time running out.
Yeah, there's a few drivers in the pits actually as we pick up the pictures. LG Meese here, P37, also aborting a run, I think. But the story of the early parts of qualifying were that Born to Race's Upsas was leading the timesheets, but that has changed because now the gap at the top is only 1/100th of a second around this 2-minute 3-lap time in South City. So that is pretty incredible between Unite and Upsas. Unite obviously coming away from a brilliant win actually in previous rounds in RTFR, so he'll be wanting to repeat that success again here today, and he's pretty handy in the XRG.
Yeah, it'll be a car he enjoys to drive, possibly even up to a specialist talent, so we'll see what he can manage.
Yeah, so after Upsas, it's a pretty big void to Rick Cardle in P3. Upsas's lead was around about a second early on in qualifying, but yeah, a few drivers have crept into that area. Ayub is the first driver off of a second off the pole time in 4th, and Twin Cam there in P5. So yeah, it's strong at the top for Born to Race. They're pretty handy in the XRGs, obviously, with their GTI servers that they host in Live for Speed. And yeah, frequent competitors in the GTI Thursday Series too. So we expect to see the Born to Race guys getting involved with the two leading Sidus cars here. Talking about leading Sidus cars, Owen, we have to update the viewers on the championship standings. So why don't you do that?
I will do so, of course. Rick Cardle has a very slim lead over his teammate Unite. It's just 4 points at the minute. And True Alpha, also known as Yannick Attila, in P3. And then we run down the order. We have at least 40 drivers registered in the championship. It goes to show, even though we've been doing this for about 5.5 months now, it's generated huge interest across the board. And we have a few returning drivers, such as Stephen Martin, who's 53rd in the championship. He's back behind the wheel. Maybe he'll get some extra points. And we go over 80, so we've more than double the allotted entry. In the championship, they've managed to gain a point or more. And we actually have nearly, we have over 100 here.
Yeah, sorry, I should have warned you. I mean,
Lots,
there's a lot
yeah.
of them. We're keeping track of everybody in the championship, so it's great to see, isn't it? So many drivers competing in RTFR. 103, there you are. Right?
Yes. Yeah, that's
wow.
The Nürburgring 24-hour kind of levels.
Yeah, it's quite a lot. Obviously, they're not all competing every week. That would be mad, but there we are. Let's have a look at the Drivers' Championship. Sorry, Teams Championship.
An infinitely more presentable championship, has to be said. Team Sidus with 420 points, with a significant lead over Race Green. But then Born to Race, with their pedigree in the GTIs, they have a great chance to become the runners-up if they can fulfill the potential. But don't forget those world-class Lions either. They're lurking away in 4th place. And Master Race Car are the 5th and final team past the century. But then we have our own team, Sim Broadcasts. They should hopefully make 100 today. And then we have Father and Sons racing in 8th, in between with Fragmaster in 7th there. So lots of teams pushing as hard as they can.
Yeah, absolutely. 11 teams taking part in the Teams Championship here. We have 400 euros on offer for the drivers in this series, and that's not to be sniffed at when most of it's going to the Teams Championship. So let's head back to the track and see what's going on. Unite is still leading the way. Here he is with that Pikachu Yes Motorsport livery, actually. So Sidus not rocking their traditional purple, white and yellow skin here today. Maybe they didn't have time to make one for the XRG, I don't know. But there we are. Nico sporting a livery we were used to seeing in the Team Rock Racing Championship last year, which seems like an eon ago. He's weaving his way through the infield. This is such a fantastic section in the XRG. Actually clips the wall there. You don't want to do that. You lose time really quickly by scraping the Armco around here. The red and white ominous barrier off the top of the hill is probably not going to be seeing much action in these cars. It is a little bit easier, that corner in the XRG, but still, some drivers clipping the wall or running a bit wide, they're going to clap that barrier and you'll hear it. It's a big thud and you'll lose a load of time there. The slowest corner in LFS, the hairpin at South City, up the hill again as we head down into the final sector of the lap, down this nice little off-camber double left-hander, and then onto the highway, which in the new version we think is going to turn into a ring road around the entirety of South City, which is going to be crazy. Looks like Eco is doing some tyre warming actually on this lap.
Yeah, and perhaps the number that livery has, it's number 420, so maybe Sidus said, okay, you can use that on the basis of how many points we've got in the championship.
Yeah, I'm not sure that's why that number's on there, Owen, but yeah.
No.
Nice idea. We're watching Eoin Catilla, who is under the pseudonym of True Alpha for the last few rounds of RTFR, so we're kind of getting used to that name now. As he heads on to start-finish, he is some way off the pace, but Eoin Catilla is one of the drivers who we expect to be right up there on the timesheets. He is pretty handy in the GTIs. Let's see what he gets on this attempt as he heads down to turn number 1. Down this lovely little dip underneath the crest. Lots of camber down there to pull you around the corner. Then off to turn 2. Gets the rear of the car out nicely. You really do want to slide this car around on a qualifying lap. You want to be much more planted in a longer race, of course, but on a qualifying attempt, you can really afford to get the rear of the car out. Eoin was only just crossing start-finish when the timer was running, Owen, because we're down to 10 seconds in the session already.
Yeah, we usually take notes of when the time for a lap time is shorter than what's in the session, but True Alpha has timed it very well. He's into Sector 1's timing spot just about now, heading for the run down to turn 11, the massive hairpin with the downhill braking.
Yeah, this looks like a pretty smooth lap so far. He's not hit anything, so let's hope he can do the same for the second half. Here we go, heavy braking zone, and it's really downhill here. You have to brake a lot earlier than you think to get the car turned in for the hairpin. Up the hill again, a little bit of a tap on the wall. That won't have cost him too much as he turns right onto this double left-hand down the hill before he goes back onto the highway section. And you want to avoid that white and blue barrier as well on the exit there. You can lose a load of time because you've got this huge hill to contend with, the on-ramp to the highway. And there's a sim broadcast car just ahead of Eoin. I hope they don't get in the way. One corner to go, and then a couple of wiggles, and we will see what time Eoin Catilla can set in this session. He's left it very late, Owen.
Yeah, top 10 is certainly objective here for his team, and he's got the final run down flat out after this complex corners over the cycle lane and the curb on the inside there. This is it. Now he's got to get 2 minutes 4 really to stand any chance of where he wants to be. And he's got P4.
Yeah, that's a great attempt. That's
effort.
a great attempt.
Well done.
Yeah, still quite a way off of Unite's time. Unite has done a very nice lap time there indeed, and it does look like Upsas is going to be denied that pole position besides holding that top spot for quite a considerable length in the session. But yeah, we just watched a lap there by World Class Lions True Alpha, Eoin Catilla, putting it in P4, so rounding out the second row. Not sure if we're going to see any more improvements, but we'll wait a few moments to see if anyone can. Eoin was one of the final cars across the line, so it'll only be a very short wait before we get full classification of the running order for round 11 of Rony's Tuesday Fun Race 2021. So it looks like we're waiting for Redbot to cross the line to finish his lap. He is currently entering the highway section, and we will see. Can he improve on his final attempt? Just one more corner for Redbot to go. Interestingly, the top place driver in the of the race green cohort is Zadoris, who we've not seen for quite a long time in RTFR, and well, I don't know. Unless I'm blind, I cannot see Mandula anywhere on the list. Owen.
Yeah, Mandula doesn't seem to be anywhere to be found.
So
we're out Mandula.
Yeah, that's a shame. But anyway, there we go. Across the line comes Redbot to complete his final lap of the session. And let's get a rundown of that full qualifying order, please, Owen.
And this is it. Here we go. Pole position by 100th of a second. It's Sidus Unite beating Upsas to the honour there. But there'll be a hefty rundown to the first two corners anyway. Ricardo, True Alpha, and Ayub complete the top 5. So very much a 3-team war there. Following along, we have Twin Cam, Cossi, Spiky, Zadoris, and Magic in the top 10, with Jose, Falcon, Donny, 136 miles per hour, and Yari Catilla there. Yaroslav Donalik, Simjintas, SBTV's Kid, Redbot, we just saw a moment ago, and Yara Loco. That's the top 20. Counting down from 21st, we have Maranui, Michael Malik, Lorenzo, Dehev Muli, Timu Soini, Jox, Gum Garages Dorinis, Rony himself, Pavliski, and Kurtchu. I think that's 30th position there. Monty McCarry, 7-9, FTB's Elmo, Stephen Martin, Texas, and Tilo Falkenberg there for 36th. Xtoff, Danashi, Thomas, and LG Meese are in the top 40. And it's commiserations to Pit Lane Racer and Kroll for the inability to make the top 40, but they may be able to enter if someone else withdraws.
Thanks for that, Owen. So yeah, again, a completely packed grid here. Only 40 drivers allowed to take the start. If anybody drops out after qualifying, obviously the drivers lower down will be able to join at Rony's discretion. So it looks like we're going to be seeing 40 XRGs thundering down to turn 1 at South City Long in just a few moments' time. We're going to take a quick break here, and we hope you don't go anywhere because there's going to be a 16-lap race coming up very soon. Don't go anywhere. Hello and welcome back to Sim Broadcasts, coverage here of Rony's Tuesday Fun Race 2021 Round 11 with the XR GT at South City Long. I'm Peter Butcher, and joining me in the commentary box is Eoin Harmon for this evening's race. Eoin, we've got 40 cars on the grid, and the gap at the top is pretty significant once you get past the top, top 3 or 4. Those guys may have a breakaway on their hands, but which one of those 4 is looking most likely to win? We know Born to Race are quick, we know Yoni's quick, but he's got the 2 Sidus drivers to contend with as well.
Indeed. You would say UPSAS would be disappointed having held pole position for a vast majority of the session, and then Unite turns up and nicks it away. But certainly Ricardo, if the run up to the first corner is not ideal for the front runners, I'd say he could sneak in and hold on to victory.
Yeah, absolutely. And looking further down the order, we have quite a number of contenders who are looking to shake up get in the mix. The 2 Born to Race cars outside the top 4 are Ayub and Twin Cam. Cozzy, Spiky, Usadorus and Magic will be looking to get in there as well. Just under a minute to go until we grid up for the start of this one then. And we have, as I mentioned before, 40 cars registered and ready to go, which is a lot when there's not that much track space, is there, down into turn 1. Everyone's going to have to be very careful on this opening lap. There's going to be plenty of cars trading paints, so we may expect some carnage at turn 1, especially with those cold tyres. RTFR is a absolutely fantastic series, and if you want to get involved, all the information can be found in the race screen events section of the Live for Speed forum, lfs.net. All right, Eoin, let's get this show on the road. I think we're just a couple of seconds away then.
Yeah, I think the drivers are being requested to restart the session, and we'll see the traditional message, let's go racing. There we go. Shouldn't be very long at all now. Yeah, Shift and R has been pressed, so we're on the grid to begin our 16 laps of South City Long. And there's our very own SPTV car with a Mitsubishi badge in honor of the Starion. But it's all about our front runners here. Unite on the left hand side, and Ricardo with his teammate there, and it is UPSAS. He has a world class Lions driver behind to worry about, but the lights have been eliminated. That's a jump start. That is already a jump start for True Alpha. Total self-inflicted error there, but it's a getaway. UPSAS will get alongside Unite in the battle of the letter U. Unite holds onto the racing line. Ricardo in behind. Ayub up to 4th. UPSAS pulls along to the outside, and then wants a cutback. Not quite successful. A few drivers clanging against the wall. Oh, it's gotten worse, actually.
Yeah, that's 2 world-class Lions cars who've caused an absolute pile-up. We've got kids spinning, and that's not good at the back, is it?
Hamuli spawn.
I did say we'd have some turn 1 carnage, but right up the front, we've got no such thing. We've got UPSAS right up the rear of Unite as they head into the infield, and look how close they are. That is nearly, that's...
Oh, and Desnance has rolled it, so Desnash for Argentinos is out of the race.
That's not ideal.
But back to the front here. UPSAS has a great run out of turns 9 and 10, but will be turn 11 that could decide the destiny of this first lap.
Yeah, this is super difficult, but on the first lap with the cold tyres. But yeah, UPSAS not even going anywhere near the inside of Unite's car. Unite has run quite deep though, and they're going to be. There is an overlap, but UPSAS is backed out of it. As Unite still runs really wide. He's not happy to be taking these narrow lines, is he at all? And the gap at the front is nothing. In behind, it's Ricardo with a bit of a gap, you have to say.
Yeah, the top 2 got away as they needed, but it was Yannick Attila. He must have just let go of the clutch and jump started, and that will cost him very, very severely. And the top 5 actually belongs to Twin Cam. He leaps above the world class Lions driver.
Side by side for the leader.
Yeah.
UPSAS was ahead as they went into the final corner, but Unite got the cutback and he's back in the lead. We were looking further down the field when that happened, but crucially, Unite's managed to get back in front, and UPSAS is going to have to try and find another way around as we head on to lap number 2 of 16. Across the line comes Unite and UPSAS, nose to tail. So much fun in these cars, isn't it? I mean, there's so little power, so little speed. The racing is just so close. Unite clouts the wall, and that's surely going to give Upsas a bit of a run.
Watch out.
Maybe even Rick Cardle, yeah.
Yeah, they were top speed about 110 miles an hour on the chase to the first corner. Upsas has the inside line of 2, but it won't be the inside for 3. Is he going to go all the way? Oh, he is. Oh, he's done it.
Yeah, around the outside, great move there. Well, that was all thanks to his turn 1. He had that lined up from the beginning. Now he just needs to focus ahead and try and gap Unite as quickly as possible. Unite has the fastest lap, of course. He was first across the line. But yeah, it looks like Upsas has done everything he needs to do now. He just needs to focus ahead. He is rapid in this car. It is absolutely crazy how quick Upsas can be in the XRG. But look at the trail of cars now that have all bunched up to the back of these guys while they've been fighting. We've got 3 Born to Race cars, 2 Siders cars. Sorry, 4 Born to Race cars. Spikey's joined the mix.
Yeah, celebration time for the black and blue team. Twin Cam just having to stay alert to the action behind. And that's Zadoris, in fact, the leading race green car. The chase will be on for position there. And then other drivers competing down the order.
Yeah, I have to say I'm impressed with the Ford Rally Sport team. Jose up into P8, that is quite impressive, and just ahead of Patrick Hall, Race Green Falcon. I haven't seen him for a while. He's in P9. So yeah, great stuff. As the leaders turn the final corner, we have a battle on between who's that? That was Spikey and Zadoris were side by side coming into the braking zone, and again Spikey into the wall. Zadoris is going to have this run, and he's going to mess up this Born to Race strategy as they head onto the home straight again.
Yeah, that's a bit of a disappointment for Spikey, but there's plenty of time to make amends. And we're now looking at Yaroslav Donalik, paying tribute to various cartoons from American culture there, but now we're on to Michael Malik in unlucky 13th. Maybe he has a run on Iron Dunny. It's probably not going to happen this time around unless he lunges. No, plays it. Yeah,
Ooh.
gets as close as he can without making contact. That's respectable.
Yeah, I thought he was going to go for it. Michael Malik driving his lovely free candy racing livery that he runs in certain events. There we are. Upsas now with the fastest lap, unsurprisingly. But Unite is not letting him get away. These guys are absolutely on it. And it looks like Rick Cardle is under a little bit of pressure now from the first of the Born to Race cars. That isn't Upsas, it's Eob, as he rounds the top of the hill.
Yeah, the rundown will be important, but I'd say top 4 drivers will be the most concentrated. They won't do anything silly. Unite doing his best to regain the lead. It's not going to take place this time.
Yeah, Upsas is super smooth, isn't he? He's all over this, and he is beginning to open that gap. Over half a second back to Unite now, and that might not sound like much, but in these cars, every single tiny input on your steering wheel is so important because there's not a lot of power, and it's quite it's really difficult to close up a gap, even in the slipstream in the GTIs. But yeah, Unite won't be too unhappy with his position right now. It's a solid position to be. And it's, yeah, as we say, it's often more fun to chase than it is to lead. They're whittling away the laps, aren't they? We're almost on to lap 4 already. And it does look like we still have 39 runners in this race. We've only lost 1 driver. Sorry, we can't tell you who that is, but there we are. Falcon has caught up to the back of Jose as we come across start-finish. Maybe trying to go for a move into turn 1. Super tricky to stay close as we head down into turn number 1. But turn 2 might be an opportunity for Patrick. Here he goes. Gets the rear of the car out a little bit. Jose goes slightly defensive, and Patrick's nowhere near to make that move on this occasion.
Yeah, another overtake for position. It's Yanni Catella fighting his way back up the order. He caught Dorinas, and now he's going for Lorenzo Subaru. And that's a 2-for-1 deal. Good job.
Yeah, he's just made his way back into the top 20 after serving that penalty. I wonder how high up Yanni Catilla can get, because he is quite a way off the leaders, 17 seconds. We know he's fast, but I don't think he's that fast in, the 12 laps that we've got left here.
Yeah, it would require pit stop strategy to come into effect, but that's not a factor here in RTFR.
Nope, that's reserved for the XL edition of Rony's Tuesday Fun Race. Speaking of Rony's Tuesday Fun Race XL, we have the next round of that coming up in April. Sorry, we've had April in June, and that'll be on Tuesday, June the 15th. At an undisclosed combo, I think, unless it's been decided. The next RTFR XL is the RB4 at Aston North for 34 laps. So if that sounds like your sort of thing, get involved with that. Back to today's action though, Upsas leads from Nico Pantona. Silas unite by around about half a second. The gap has not really changed much in the last few moments, but what has changed is the gap back to Rick Cardle. Rick Cardle is a second and a bit off of the back of his teammate, and he'll be wanting to close that gap down as quickly as possible, or hope that the guys ahead of him fight. Here come the cars across start finish. You can just see how close it is at the front. That is kind of how it goes in XFG, XRG racing in LFS. Great to see so many of them bunched up at the front. Everybody's got someone to race with, haven't they, Eoin?
Yeah, I'd say Redbot is the one exception to that at the minute in 16th. Pawlowski is not close enough, but certainly the top two will give us breathless drama heading to the first half of the race. Still a while to go yet, but they're just inseparable at the moment, as Upsas, his preference to stick wide on the outside nearly gave Unite a little bit of excitement there, but it was shut down.
Yeah, Upsas did something interesting there. He took a wider line through the swimming pool bus stop section chicane thingy, and just ensured that he got a really nice run onto this hill, probably so that Nico wasn't able to get close into what is probably the one of the best overtaking spots, the hairpin here. But they did munch back up quite well at the corner. But again, that gap is just holding. These guys are lapping almost exactly the same times. The fastest lap has been traded between them a couple of times already. Unite currently holding it. And the gap back is around about a second to Rick Cardle. Yeah, they come down the flyover then.
Yeah, Rick could be more worried about losing the podium at the moment with that gap. So far, so good.
Yeah, not bad at all. Michael Malik's having an interesting time of it. He's battling with Argentina Turismo's Yero Loco. Yero Loco goes to the outside for the final corner, and the Free Candy Racing XRG there sticking to the inside as we head through the final corner. Michael having a little bit of connection issue.
Yeah, he's dropping a few frames there with the disconnect, but seems to be hanging on in there. 136 miles per hour as well, looking on potentially ready to pounce.
Yeah, he'll be watching this battle in eager anticipation of something happening between the two ahead. Looks like Yero Loco's dropped off the back of Michael a little bit, and yeah, I'm pretty sure that he'll be wanting to try and get past as soon as possible. Yero Loco gets a little bit wayward out of turn one. It's a super tricky corner, that. And Michael's gone wide. This is going to give Yero Loco a run, but he's going to be on the outside for turn three, which isn't really ideal. We saw Upsas pull it off, but he was a lot further ahead. So Yero Loco maybe going for the cutback. He gets a little bit of a push from 136, and that forces him into the back of Michael. So these three have really bunched up now.
Yeah, it's still plenty more to be decided there, and that's Yero Loco getting super close. And I'd say other drivers are going to be catching up to these guys soon enough if they keep cutting each other's lap times by a few tenths. And I just saw Ayub with a tiny smack of the wall after turn 12. Nothing too much to worry about there. But Ricardo will have gained the 1.5 seconds to really be able to focus now on gaining positions rather than losing position as of a lap ago.
Yeah, I wonder if Nico's made an error as well. Unite, he's definitely dropped back from Upsas. Or I don't know whether Upsas is just in the groove and he's able to put in more consistent lap times, he has retaken the fastest lap of the race. And the gap between the top two is around about a second at the moment. As there's further drama back in the field with Michael Malik and 136 miles an hour going at it.
Yeah, something must happen to Michael. He was ahead of these two, and now he could be behind them again.
Yeah, absolutely. These two are going at it down the home straight. We like to see it. But you'd think 136... Yeah, there we go. He pulls into the slipstream. The best opportunity to get past on the home straight is by being in the slipstream. You're not really going to manage it if you're side by side with a nose ahead. Here they go. Round turn number 1. Fantastic corner. Flat out in the XRG. Got to avoid the wall on the exit.
Oh, there's a bit of contact. It's True Alpha and Simjintas, but well done to the both of them. They held on and prevented a terrible slide. But there's a dive for the inside, and didn't quite work. It's Merenui trying to gain that 19th position. That's the last chance for Sector 1 anyway. It's not going to work. But yeah, relief as those two drivers can carry on their race.
Yeah, it was a pretty ambitious dive that into turn 1. Yeah, but it didn't work out. Simjintas able to do the switchback on that occasion.
There's a Doris and Spiky side by side. We can get a perfect view if we hold onto this camera. There they are. The Doris holds the inside but won't get as good drive. Out of 12 into 13. Spiky does the job. Now has the entry for 13 now and heading into the final sector. Right, battling between these two. But the slipstream for Zadoris kicks in and he chooses the outside, heading down to 14.
Yeah, these two have been seriously evenly matched on pace. They've been battling each other all race long. But Spiky's always come out on top so far. Let's see, he's on the inside. Zadoris has got a nice bit of momentum around the outside. This isn't over. Down the back straight, sorry, the home straight. It is the home straight. Zadoris has a nose ahead, and it looks like he is ahead. Spiky will have the slipstream, of course. But there we are, a race green car we're not used to seeing in RTFR these days. Zadoris, who seems to have taken over the place of Mandula today, is taking home the race green honours. Currently P6 ahead of Born to Race's Patrick Kalinka, who we are watching right now. And no reply from Spiky there.
Yeah, just has to give up for now. 136 miles an hour, side by side with Pawlowski into 1. They've recovered and Pawlowski tries a counterattack. In between, it's True Alpha going for a really alpha male move there, but it didn't work, unfortunately.
That was really late, probably unsighted actually, as Pawlowski pulled out of the draft. And who's that? Is that Simjintas?
Simjintas again, yeah.
Back with Simjintas, and that's given the opportunity to Marini to have another go. Merenui, sorry, into turn number 4. Simjintas is not letting that happen.
It's so much pride on the line here. Oh, Simjintas way out of shape for the chicane, and that changes the position in favour of Merenui, and away they go. Yeah,
so Eoin went for the move on the inside of 136. I think 136 was probably had target fixation on Pawlowski, who was sending it, and then just took his normal line, and Eoin was on the inside. Ended up getting squeezed into the barrier and he came to a standstill essentially, and that's cost him time on his charge back through the field. He's only up to P18, Eoin, and considering he started 4th, pretty sure he'll be a bit annoyed about that as we're just about halfway at the end of this lap.
Yeah, he'll be livid with himself. I suppose this is still for fun. Obviously the prize money is a great incentive, but yeah, Eoin, he'll be kicking himself for today, but tomorrow's a new day, so you can try again next time.
Unite has caught back up to Upsas. The gap was over a second, so he can't have done it all in the slipstream, so Upsas has either made an error or Unite has turned up the wick. There's now nothing between the two again, as see how much slide Upsas feels like he has to get on into turn 1. That brings the gap down even more. Upsas does seem to be taking slightly wider lines than Nico the entire race, and it seems to be paying off for him. Unite not able to get the line he wanted through turn 3. Turn 4 a bit wide again, and he hits the wall. So as soon as I've turned the camera to Unite, he's dropped back off the Born to Race driver at the front. But this isn't over. These two are going to go to their death, I think. They've dropped Rick. They don't really have to worry about the gap behind. It's almost 2 seconds at this point. And yeah, these two are incredibly experienced drivers in the XRG. They've been racing it for years and years in Need for Speed.
It's very admirable, given that amount of dedication to the XRG. And there you go, lovely panning shot of the 3 leading drivers with Ayub there in 4th. Twin Cam holds 5th position. Battle for 6th and 7th between Zadorus and Spikey carries on with Jose 8th, Falcon 9th, and Magic 10th.
Yeah, awesome stuff. Yeah, South City is such a classic track in sim racing. You still hear people all these years who've maybe moved on from Need for Speed. They still talk about South City and the races that they used to have around it in some of the S1 cars, and it is really awesome to see that the track is going to get a pretty massive update. That is probably putting it mildly. As we talked about in the pre-show, the progress report that came out a few days ago, showcasing some of the new areas on the South City track. It's going to be brilliant. But let's try and treasure the races that we do have left on the classic South City before it gets replaced by the new facelift version.
I was just going to say Marinui, True Alpha, and 136 had a 3 wide heading down 14. True Alpha should now have the slipstream on Marinui for that position, and we can finally see the World Class Lion driver at his very best here, getting back in the shake-up, and with a bit of clear space, could even gain more positions side by side across the line. Who's got the most courage here? Looks about the same. Alpha has to go to the outside.
Yeah, that was good of Marinui there. He really did leave Yoni space on the outside, so good awareness in the end, and not letting Yoni Katila through. Yoni, after that jump start at the beginning, a very uncharacteristic error from the very experienced World Class Lions driver. Yeah, he's just not having the greatest race, is he? He's just not able to get through the traffic as quickly as he wanted to. And when you come up against a driver who knows exactly where to put the car, it's even harder through these corners, because you see there's not much room. You can't very easily get past.
Not at all, but 136 did make poor entry into the second corner. Simjin Test breezed by, and Kossi is now in the shot with 136, and just disappointment there for our midfield runner in 20th.
Yeah, Michael Malek's still experiencing some issues, and the battle at the front unchanged. It looks like Rick Cardle is still in striking distance if something happens between these two. But yeah, this is a very, very close race between these two. I don't think we've seen a battle as close in recent times. Maybe the LX races at Rockingham were pretty close at the end, but here we go. Lap 10 about to be completed by Born to Race's Upsas, currently setting the pace in this race. He's being followed very, very closely by Nico Pentola, Sidus United, who takes away the fastest lap yet again. That fastest lap has been trading places all race long.
Yeah, but what matters is the first driver to cross the line with the checkered flag in sight, and that's still to be determined. Upsas has held that lead since he first gained it. Close to the wall.
Yeah, they both hit the wall there. They both hit the wall. So I thought when Upsas hit it that Nico might have a bit of a go, but then he also followed Upsas into the wall. But yeah, these two are such focus at the moment. They really have to, because one mistake from either of them and it's game over.
And it would have huge knock-on effects if they came to blows. Ricardo may have a fraction of time to react, but you never know if it's in a dangerous portion of the track. But we'll move on now to Jaroslav Donalik in position number 12, driving the number 23. And there's a special message on the bumper in case anyone gets too close. Fans of Futurama will recognize it. But, yes.
I like that paint. It's nice. There's a lot going on that, so there's something for everyone. Jaroslav Donalik currently leading the Czech battle. We always like to talk about that in RTFR.
Yeah, this is very close now for Unite. The slipstream won't be strong enough here, but a good entry into 14 could make the race leaders begin to sweat. Gets the tail out, and in these cars that certainly helped out. And Unite is going to give it his absolute best here. Have to
Yeah,
wait
he's
another
just
10
too
seconds.
far away, I think.
Yeah.
It's not a fast car, the XRG, and you do need to be right under the rear if you want to make any sort of move. And that in other cars, that sort of gap would probably be enough to get a decent slipstream, but not in the XRG, unfortunately. Nico's going to have to get way closer out of the final corner if he wants to get past into turn 1 or 2. He did pull up a little bit, and will close up even more on the brakes. Nico is super strong on the brakes. Upsas again running wide, and this is boxing. This is bringing Rick Cardle back into this slightly. I know we've only got 5 laps to go, but yeah, he really is back in the battle now, is Rick Cardle.
On that last lap, he gained 0.3 of a second. On Unite, I believe it was, yeah, he gained about 0.3 and half a second on the race leader. And if that carries on, we'll have a three-way dance to the finish. But we are looking now at Monty McCarry side by side with SBTV's Kid, and that's the job done for the moment. Running down to the first corner, and I think that'll be Kid's last throw of the dice. Yeah, good move.
That was pretty decent. Yeah, I expected maybe a bit of a retaliation as we briefly on our timing screens had the leaders changing. That wasn't actually the case. It looks like Upsas is still ahead, but yes, by basically nothing. So, yeah, as they clip the wall slightly there onto the back straight, and Unite's just not close enough again. He really needs to go for everything on the brakes into the final corner, because I really think at this point his only chance to get past is if Upsas makes a mistake or he can get under that rear wing and pass into turn 2. Let's see. He's going super deep on the brakes, and he's got a nice tight line. Needs to make sure he hooks up the exit. Decent effort.
This is closer.
Certainly closer than he was before. This could be it. This could be all he needs. Let's see. Upsas as Upsas comes onto the straight, he has opened the gap slightly. So maybe not, but very, very, very close. Of course, as they come across the line, we'll get an update on that gap. It was 0.3 of a second. Now 0.2 of a second. So yeah, nothing to choose between these leaders.
And frustration for Ricciardo. He lost time on the last lap. Could only really have been driver error. I can't see anything else that could have cost him that time. So his chances of winning have diminished as long as these two protagonists stay clear of each other.
Yeah, it's interesting. It's interesting contrasting the driving styles of Upsas and Nico. It's much easier when you're watching it from the outboard shot, actually. But you can see that Nico is taking much tighter lines, and Upsas is using the rear of the car a lot more. So at this point, I don't know whether it's just a case that Upsas is kind of holding Nico up a little bit through the infield, but Nico just can't get close enough on the straights to pass.
Yeah, it's a great observation. But yeah, when the lead changed hands, Upsas was able to do what was necessary. Got the move done around the outside. Turn 3 was a courageous move, and in fact, that hairpin certainly benefited Upsas. He got
I don't think it benefited him. I think Nico got it all wrong on the brakes. He was all sorts of out of shape. He was way offline. I think maybe he could have been avoiding the back of Upsas. He might have mistimed it, but that has given Upsas a big buffer. That's 0.7 of a second now, and that might be too much to make up in the next 3 laps. Let's see. That was definitely an error from Nico's side. Upsas did nothing wrong. And Upsas using the wall there on the outside to slow the car down, and that's actually let Nico gain a bit. So, yeah, Upsas is on the ropes a little bit. Nico is not really making it very easy for himself. Let's see. Upsas not with the best exit, but I think, again, it's just enough to stay ahead.
Yeah, but someone who won't be staying ahead, it's Twin Cam. Zadorus has just performed a dive on the inside, was nice and clean, well prepared. And into 15 now, Zadorus holds onto the outside line. But now the B2R teammates have a decision to make. One will have to merge away from the original racing line. And clip of the barrier for Twin Cam. He's lost the inside. The back end got twitchy, and Spiky could also overtake his teammate. Yeah, that's clear as day. Twin Cam has to sway around the outside, and he's lost 2 positions in 4 corners.
Yeah, and more importantly, Zadoris is up into P5 from P6. Ayub is a little bit far down the road to make any moves in the next 3 laps unless there's an issue. And time is also ticking for Nico. He's got the fastest lap of the race, but unfortunately, there's a blue and black car ahead of him in the shape of Upsas, who is a mouse driver in LFS. LFS obviously offering a bunch of different controller options, and some drivers are alien fast in using the mouse. It's kind of crazy, but anyway, each to their own, as they say. Nico probably using full manual with his Logitech as he heads down the hill once again. He's got to try everything, hasn't he? Rick's caught back up to this little fight. He's been like a yo-yo, Rick Cardle. One minute he's fast, 1 minute he's fallen away. But yeah, it looks like Upsas is doing everything at the moment to keep this race in his grasp.
Indeed, just so much decision making for the drivers to do, and if they make a mistake and something appears in their rear view mirrors, they'll just have to stay calm as best they can. But now the penultimate lap approaches. Upsas has the comfortable lead for this standard of driving, but now he just has to perform the lap as best he can. They shouldn't catch up to our 38th and final runner. He will be taking the second corner now, as a matter of fact. I'd say he'll be quick enough to avoid being lapped.
That is a very good point. We haven't seen any lapping really in this race, which could have played a massive effect, but the sprint race format has somewhat saved these guys, unless there's any trouble later on. We saw a little bit of trouble last week in the XL race with some back markers, but yeah, this shorter format around a longish track, it's worked out pretty well today for these guys. We've had some really super close racing, and it's not over yet. 2 laps to go.
Yeah, these 3 battling out as best they can. True Alpha and his recovery drive has potentially landed him 15th place. Maybe not this time around. It would be. Oh yeah, he's going to cut off the line as Redbot is defending. Pavlovsky in the pink and white has probably got to yield at the chicane unless True Alpha will avoid the cutback, because Maranui is also in contention. And yeah, that'll be formation for now, but it's just whatever decisions can be made, as True Alpha will probably hang around the outside for the hairpin.
Yeah, this is a perfect display of how difficult it is to get past a car that's of similar pace to you around South City. Even the slower cars, it's sometimes really difficult to pass. You've got to pick your moments, as Eoin is on the outside for the hairpin, which is not a desirable place to be. He's trying the cutback up the hill. He'll have a nose alongside, and in fact, the job done before the straight. So that was actually quite well played there from Eoin, but only P15 after the disastrous start to the race.
Yeah, the racecraft was evident, but now we have our final lap. LG Meese did manage to find room at turn 14 to get away from our contenders, and he was lapped safely. So this is a clean battle to the finish. Whoever wins it from here will deserve it.
Yeah, both these two have. This has been a show of true, skill. Keeping the car between the walls is obviously difficult, but keeping up the pace at the same time is impressive. Rick is not out of this. He may clinch, clinch a position from Nico if Nico makes a mistake. He is within striking distance, 1.6 seconds separating the top 3. Bit of a way back to Ayub in 4th. So this is the battle for the podium then. We're riding on board with Upsas as he takes the uphill left-hander for the final time in this race. Almost the barrier almost occluding Nico from our view there. He's so far ahead now. Over a second the gap. So I think Nico is well and truly out of this one. Final time down to the hairpin. brilliant downhill right-hand corner in the XRG. You feel all of the characteristics of the XRG through that corner. You feel the nose dip as you hit the brakes. You feel the rear come out as it squirms for grip, and then you have the lovely slide to the hairpin. And then when you get the power down, it kicks it into action up the hill. Excellent car if you've not tried it. I mean, I'd be staggered if you haven't. It's one of the demo cars. And here we go then for the final time onto the overpass. Unite and Rick pretty close together. And I think this will be pretty important for both of their championships, Owen, because I'm not sure of the points gap between P2 and 3 in a race, but I certainly know that going into this race, Unite was behind Rick in the championship by a measly 4 points. So we'll see what goes on there. But all eyes on Upsas, Owen, out of the final corner.
Yeah, and will there be any celebratory motions with the flashlights? Doesn't seem to be. Upsas focused to the very end and wins at South City Long. Great performance there. And it's a tie for fastest lap. 2 minutes 3.61 for both Upsas and Unite. So well done to them. Ricardo will be pleased to finish third after starting third. And then Ayub, best of the rest, in fourth.
Yeah, I mean, Unite set the fastest lap first, so he will take the honours of the point for that. And yeah, what a race from Upsas, though. He really did control that. At one point, I really thought he lost it because he was just going too wide. I thought his tyres were gone or something, but yeah, Unite just not able to find a way around him in the end. And Upsas will have to make his way to victory lane, wherever that may be, here at South City Long, as we've got a bunch of drivers crossing the line now. Further down the order, we've got 23 finishes at the moment, and we're expecting around about 30, because yeah, we had a lot of drivers finish in this one. So we have a bit of a bit of a party down in turn one, it seems.
And that could be a clue about where the podium is located. Maybe not precisely, but Upsas. Hopefully there is enough fuel in that car to make the podium, because we remember it was West Hill. We didn't get to see the driver make the podium with their original car. They need a brand new one. So
yeah, just a few cars crossing the line there to finish the race. The two SPTV cars, the two father and son cars, followed by the two SPTV cars, followed by the two ZFRL cars, line astern there. So I think that is enough to classify the running zone. So let's see.
yeah, so out of 40 runners, 38 made the finish, and it's Upsas gaining the priceless victory there, 1.5 seconds ahead of Silas Unite, and Ricardo did his very best to finish third, Ayub fourth, Zadorus fifth, Spiky claims P6 with twin cam. Slightly disappointing, I think. He would have loved that top five, but it wasn't to be. But he stayed clear of Falcon, Jose, and Iron Donny at the end there. And running down from 11th, we have Donnelly, Yera Loco, Michael Malik, Redbot, Yanni Katilla, aka True Alpha, Maranui, Pabliski, Magic, Simjintas, and Kossi in the top 20. Next up, it's 136 miles an hour in 21st, and then Derinus, Texas, Lorenzo, Kid, Timu Soini, Moti Makari, Jocks, Stephen Martin, and Yarkatilla from 21st to 30th there. And last but not least, we have Fadas, Rony, 7-9, Xtoff, Falca, Elmo, the Hefmuli, and LG Mies was a lap down but was classified. Then out of the race went Pit Lane Racer and Des Nash.
Thanks for that, Owen. Upsas, you'll be glad to know, has found his way to victory lane, which is just off the side of the track. There he is. Upsas, our race winner today, ahead of Nico Pintola, who valiant effort, you have to say, really tricky race for him. Ultimately, it was the Born to Race car who won. Yeah, I think that's the first time in a while that we've seen a B2R car on the top step of the podium in RTFR. All right, Owen, that was the 11th round of RTFR 2021. the 255th RTFR that's ever been, and yeah, what a show.
Yeah, fantastic stuff. South City, as you said before, it was a long time coming for an RTFR event, and it delivered. So, delight, obviously, for Upsas. Got the job securely done, and we'll move on for the next round.
Yeah, and speaking of the next round, we are heading to the, if I can find the right button here, we are heading to the 12th round of the season at Kyoto GP Reversed with the BF1, which is a very big contrast to the XRG at SO4. We hope you enjoyed this evening, and we hope to see you in 2 weeks' time for that one. That is going to be the 256th edition of RTFR, and yeah, what an awesome race that's going to be. There are certain drivers who will be up to speed at that combo. I think it was part of a few races that we've had in recent times. But yeah, as I mentioned, stark contrast. All right, coming up soon on Sim Broadcast, we have the Layout Racing League this Saturday from 3:40 UTC. And on that Monday, Bank Holiday Monday in the UK, we have the return of the MRC GTR Monday Series to the Sim Broadcast channel. We hope you can join us for that. Yeah, thanks again, Owen, for joining me for RTFR in 2021. It's been a blast. And thank you, everybody, for watching. You've been watching Sim Broadcasts here on Twitch and YouTube. We hope to see you next time. Have a good one. Good night.
Farewell.